Okay, I'm kind of living on borrowed time with Lil Nas X, so I don't want to rush, but I'm gonna try to be as concise as possible because baby, we don't got time like that. My story just like this. Okay, but yes, today we are here to talk about Lil Nas X. I hope that he's doing well. Okay, so I don't know if he's gotten rid of a lot of friends or he's in the process of getting rid of a lot of friends, but he needs to. He needs to. I also think that situation that he went through last year, I think that they had said that, like with the cops and that induced all the legal issues. Um, I think that they had said that it was actually a mental health break. Like they didn't say that drugs were involved in any capacity. Um, I wouldn't be surprised if he was using drugs. Like even if that specific moment was not because of drugs, he might be, dealing with psychosis or, some issues. Like it could have exacerbated certain mental issues. I know, not to be offensive or anything, I know that he said that his mom has dealt with certain things. So obviously if something is genetic, using things is not going to help. So especially if he was like snorting or taking pills or whatever, allegedly, I don't know that to be true, but obviously they're not helping things that he already, runs in his family. It's just like, for example, if diabetes runs in your family, it's not to say that you're actually going to get it, but if you're eating fucking ice cream every fucking day of your life, it's not going to help with, I'm trying to say, with the capacity. Um, I do feel like he might be dealing with like addiction allegedly, but this might not even be, it could be drugs, but it might not necessarily be the drug that you think. So for example, you might think that he was like on cocaine or something. It might have been marijuana. Or this might even be like poppers or something. This could honestly be a lifestyle. So it, like, I'm trying to say, it doesn't, he definitely has an addiction of some sort, but I almost don't feel like it's drugs. Like it might be like love or like addicted. Maybe he's addicted to partying. So he might use when he goes to a party, but it's not necessarily about the usage. It's about the fact that he keeps on going out. Allegedly, those are just examples of what I mean. I will say I do think that he's the lover that's gonna come in. This lover might be light skinned. He might be light skinned. He might be mixed race. Or he might be white. Like something. I feel like he's on the fairer end. And if he doesn't feel black to me, or at least not fully black. This lover could be a Gemini. He could be younger than Oz. I don't know if he can meet this person through another friend, or there's something about this person always. The word local is coming through, so this could be someone that he knows around, like he met through somebody else, or just around the way. Maybe they're like from the same place or something like that. There's just, with Gemini energy, it can be like literally I know you through somebody, or we come from the same place, something around that. Like I've known you. This might even literally be a friend. I will say good love or a good lover could definitely help take him back to health and get his mind off of things. But I think he needs to take his time and really check himself in his usage, because this person, like for example, if they had a bad breakup, this might be something that sends Nas into like a spiral. Like for example, if they break up, he might be, all of a sudden he's going back to partying and he's going back to using and things like that. So he definitely needs to take time to take care of his mental health and actually focus on getting better, and not just using this person as the remedy, but they're a step in the healing process towards whatever type of rehabilitation that he needs, whether it's literally from drugs or he just needs to kind of get away from a certain lifestyle. Because I don't know if you can hear the sirens in the back. I think it's very possible that he could have another run in with the law if he goes on another bender like this, especially if he's in a fucked up place, like mentally. Like I said, breakups can really send the most sane people to their wits end. So it's not impossible that he might go through a crazy breakup, and then he does take something, or he, like I said, he just goes outside and he loses his goddamn mind. But yeah, all alleged. I don't feel like that's necessarily going to happen. I just feel like it's possible of it happening as a result of a breakup. Okay, so in terms of career, I don't feel like his career is over. I'm gonna be honest. Unfortunately, I don't think he's ever going to peak the way that he did before. I think he just kind of lost that momentum. I'm gonna be honest. I don't think he's very musically inclined, and so I think that's the reason why he's taking some time off and he's not really able to come back. I'm thinking about Sade and how she had said that people will be there waiting for you, but Sade makes amazing music. Like the band makes amazing music. I don't think that Nas ever made music that was so amazing. I think that obviously he had the platform because of the old the old Twitter, but also he made kind of meme music, or music that was good for the time, especially at the height of the pandemic. I think that now that people are a little bit more sober or have a little bit more life experience, all the stuff that he was doing is not going to cut it. Like I do think he could put together cohesive projects and he could make great music. I just don't think that it's ever going to be as big or as popular as it was before. In certain ways, he doesn't really seem musically inclined. I'm honestly thinking about Rihanna, so he might be somebody who needs to kind of. I don't know if he has a lot of writing credits in the first place, but he might need to default to writers. Like he can choose good songs. I still don't think the career is ever going to go back to where it was. I think he can be like a moderate artist. So I'd say anywhere if he's going to chart, he might chart from like number 30 to number 70, where it's like you're making money and people are playing your music, but you're not necessarily number one. I don't see top 10, maybe top 20 on a good day. Maybe like a one top 5 or something like that. But I just, like I said, it's just not gonna be smash after smash after smash, gold and platinum, and you know you're this many times diamond, and you're like going band for band with Mariah Carey. I'm sorry. It may even be that he has something that's going to pop off or be quite successful, but maybe he sabotages it, or you know something happens. Like let's say like he has a song that's popping off, but then he gets canceled, or he does, like I said, maybe that's when he has you know the breakup, and then he goes through psychosis. I feel like he's going to have a nasty habit of sabotaging himself or stopping himself in his tracks, especially if he gets like one more good like lucky like hit or whatever, and then he does some fucked up shit. It's just not gonna come back. Like I said, like he's very moderate to low in terms of charting, but like to be fair, charting at all is a feat. There are plenty of people who have careers who really are not getting on the Billboard Hot 100, so to be on there at all is a gift. But I don't think that he's going to be super successful. Like I said, I do think that he's gonna sabotage possibly a comeback or something that is gonna go well, and so he's just gonna be relegated to that specific spot of like I said, it kind of gives me 30 to 70. This might even be due to a lack of proper promotions, or maybe promotions are halted by something. So if he's going on another mental health break, or like he, you know, something happens, you know, where he has to take care of his health, so it comes second. I don't like. If you ask me, this feels like mental health. This might even be like a mental health condition that leads to him physically harming himself in some way. I would also say this person, he needs to be careful in cars, or like having issues with cars. So like for example, if the police pull you over, this is not the time to get in a fucking hot ass police chase, bitch. Like like because I know you don't want to go back to jail, or you don't want to go through litigation again, but it's better to get pulled over and defend yourself in court than go to jail for, I don't know what they would call it, but yeah. I will say career wise, I'm not gonna lie, he might have a lot of success if he were. I don't know if he's like he doesn't want to copy somebody, or there's something about modeling his career after somebody else, or kind of living in that same lane. So for example, I did think that there was going to be like a new pop boy, so like let's say that he's making a certain kind of music, it wouldn't be a bad idea to kind of, like I said, to copy him, to kind of be his son a little bit. Like if he's making like this progressive R&B, I know Nas doesn't really make that, but like you might want to go that route if you wanted some clout, I'm not gonna lie. And he might consider it, or he might literally do it, but then like I said, something might happen, or it doesn't really pan out for him. He may be also feeling like other people took opportunities or things from him, but I think he's not really, like, I'm not gonna lie, even after that situation, he might not necessarily be taking full accountability for what happened, because he could have really played a huge part in that. Like I said, if he was using something that caused him to have that outburst, or if he was just like, you know, he wasn't taking care of himself, and so, you know, the illnesses that he was dealing with kind of crept back up on him. I think he's always going to be regarded well. I just think the best of these days are behind him. I'm just going to be honest. Like I said, I do think that he'll have another success, but to me, to some extent, I feel like this success will be sabotaged, whether it's his own fault or somebody else. Like I don't think it's going to come to fruition the way that it should. If he was gonna get back there, you know, especially if people thought, okay, this is, you know, it's on track or it's on par to do something, something will definitely come, you know, come in between that, unfortunately. One thing I will also say is that he might have success if he pivots. So, like, let's say he decides to stop doing music, but he wants to like do modeling. That might be a good idea. I don't think he has a real interest or love for this. But it could, like, the thing about it is, I think it could still stimulate his creativity and his passion. So it will be a good idea, but it might not necessarily be where his heart is at, or he's like, I don't want to do this just for the money, and so he can miss out on that. But I would definitely recommend him, if music is not working, you can definitely still be a successful creative. I wouldn't say it'll be more successful than music, but it could definitely be something that brings you a lot of notoriety as if you were a musician. Because Nas is, he's a beautiful guy. He's a beautiful, like, if you just sat there and took pictures all day of your life, if you just wanted to do fashion or whatever, people, I would hope that they would respect that. I think that he would do an amazing in fashion, like very like, I mean, he's not as sophisticated, but like very Alton Mason. You know what I'm trying to say? I think he's just not interested. I would just encourage him to continue to create, and I'll continue to not use whatever. If he's using anything, like I said, allegedly, if he's using anything, stop, put it down. Not the time to be smoking, to be snorting, to be taking anything. It's not. It might even be some of the delusions or some of the issues from these things. I don't know if he's having episodes where he's just like, I don't want to be in Hollywood. Hollywood is this and Hollywood is that, and so he doesn't want to be a part of it anymore, or he's just very scorned about not being able to do music the way that he wants, and so he's, you know, like for example, if modeling was a good idea, he might not necessarily want to do it because he's like, this is not what I came here for, but it's something that's going to pay the bills and keep you successful. Or it could allow you to continue to do music, even if it wasn't successful music. It would allow you to continue to create music if that's what you really want to do, but having a real gig or something that's going on for yourself, you know? Yeah. Um, you have some good friends, or you're gonna meet some new friends who are gonna be good for you. I think he needs to just, I think he needs to be, I'm gonna be honest, he needs to be a little bit more grateful for what he has in his possession, or what is accessible to him, including people, because he's gonna have some good people who are going to enter his life and are actually gonna care about him. But yeah, I'm gonna leave this here. Like I said, let me know if you guys have any more questions about him specifically. Like I said, I wish him the best. It's just like, yeah, unfortunately, I don't have a bunch of time tonight, but that really was all that I got for him anyway. Yeah, I will see you guys again very soon. Thank you so much, and good night.